So, you're about to buy the best stander in the market. Are you choosing the Wright ZK Gen 3 or the SCAG V-Ride XL? Hey guys, Zach here from Kubota Lynchburg, and today we wanted to go over some of the best stand-on mowers in the market. In our opinion, the top tier stand-on mowers in the market. So we have the Wright Stander ZK, the new Gen 3 mower that they just came out with, and then the SCAG V-Ride XL that's been out for, I guess, a year and a half now. I'm not gonna go over all the specs and features between them. I've got other videos doing that, and you can go to their website and look that up yourself if you wanted to on the specs. But we're gonna go over some of the major differences or minor differences between these two mowers for you to compare and say, should I get one versus the other, and why you might get one versus the other. Wright has been known to be in the market for a long time as like the best, the top tier, the name to beat when you're looking at stand-on mowers in the market. That's Wright's specialty. Now they offer some zero turns. Don't tell anybody else from other brands, but the Wright ZXT61 zero turn they offer is my favorite mower that we sell. But you know, they've been offering these stand-ons for years, and they just came out with the new Gen 3, which has some nice new features to it. And in my opinion, the reason they did that was to compete with the SCAG V-Ride XL, because SCAG came out with this nice, really great mower. And at that point, I was like, all right, SCAG is better than Wright. And now I'm going back and I'm like, all right, now that they have the XL and we have the Gen 3, which one's better? So I'm gonna start off with some little specs that maybe I don't have to show you guys that would make one versus the other. Just looking at it, I'll go fuel tank size first. So the XL will have a 12-gallon fuel tank, and the Wright ZK will have a 15.5-gallon fuel tank. So realistically, you can mow longer, be out there more often, not have to fill up as much having a 15.5-gallon fuel tank. Honestly adds a little bit extra weight too on it, which might be a good or bad thing, versus 12 gallons. Honestly, 12 gallons though is more than enough to run all day long. So really major factor? Not really, but it's something cool to think about. One of the next things that you're gonna see is going to be what's on the front of the machines. Your mower decks are obviously the same, caster wheels are basically the same. The steel is actually a little bit thicker in one versus the other. This one has a little bit thicker steel. I noticed that I have to replace a lot of the SCAG, whether it's the old V-Rides or the new ones, these whole yoke assemblies, they tend to bend very easily. These are a little bit more robust. Now the mower decks, the differences in mower decks, the Aero Core comes with a standard striping kit on the back. So the Aero Core straight from the factory does stripe better, it leaves prettier lines, and honestly it looks better once you're done with making your passes. The Velocity deck here, one of the nice things about that is that it shares the same deck whether you get the SCAG Turf Tiger zero turn, the Cheetah zero turn, the Tiger Cat, this V-Ride. All the parts and components to the Velocity deck as far as like spindles and everything like that are the same. Now, different size decks take different blades and different belts, but a lot of the things, your front caster pieces, your frame pieces, your covers, your knobs, all those are identical. So if you're running a fleet of mowers, you can share components between them. You don't have to keep as many on the shelf for fixing it. Right, they do share a lot of components, but there's some variation in there. So the Velocity deck also, Lee, if you want to look at this, the discharge opening on this Velocity deck is massive. This is one of the very nice things why this machine cuts so much better than most of the competition is you have this massive discharge opening. If I put my foot there to scale, you can see I still have a whole nother hand width right there. Sorry, I should probably have the dimensions memorized on this one, but I don't. And if I put my foot to scale, all right, only have a little bit in front of my toe before there. What that means is when you're going through the really thick grass, the really thick material, that you can basically handle it faster. It's gonna discharge better and discharge more. So if you have those yards that you want to cut bi-weekly that grow up fast, you might want a Velocity deck versus this that's gonna leave a little bit better striping. One of the next things is engine options. They basically still offer the same engine options. You can get 40 horsepower Vanguard, you can get high horsepower Kawasaki fuel injected, so not a big deal, one versus the other there. Wright does have this cool little guard here. Honestly, it's not guarding much. I don't know what this is for, but it has a little guard to keep stuff off of the engine. SCAG doesn't have that, but when are you ever hitting anything with here, you're gonna hit it up here. So it's cool, but I don't know if that actually does anything. You'll notice it has a trash container, standard, love that, very nice, very handy. Has a great little holder. You can, you know, it's got a ratchet strap that holds it on and everything. Has a little bag so it keeps it and doesn't fly out. I think that's really cool. Something else that's really cool, that's kind of small but not really noticeable on the back, if you are one that likes to do wheelies, I don't recommend it, but you have wheelie wheels. So if you are going up a hill or you're loading on something and you went up a little too steep, rather than damaging the frame or anything, it's gonna roll on those wheels. And you have tie down points, which is kind of nice. Now, who actually ties down their mowers on trailers? That's a good question. You're supposed to. I know a lot of you guys out there don't. On the back of the SCAG here, you too technically have tie down points as well, not quite as easy to get to. This is really solid metal, honestly feeling this one. SCAG is known to have some really beefy metal on it. Speaking of which, the SCAG does weigh a little bit more. Even with the smaller fuel tanks and everything, the SCAG does weigh a little bit more. The operator platform, they're both comfy. I think the Wright is slightly more comfy, but they both have good give to them and good adjustment to them. There's something else a little small I wanted to mention as far as an accessory. Maybe it was that it comes standard with a striping kit on it, because I did like that option to it. So pricing, that's always one fun one to talk about. They're within $300 to $400 of each other. Very similar in pricing. Now, sometimes SCAG, as a slightly larger company, will have better buying power for interest rates and buy downs for financing, where Wright might have to negotiate a little bit more as a smaller company. But within a couple $100 of each other, that's not going to make a big difference. Next thing, oh, this was the other thing. They have cool tie-down points on the front of them. SCAG has it as well, but again, they're not quite as easily accessible. So let's say you're a guy that is running one or two machines. Which one of these is better? In my opinion, I would go with the Wright. It has more standard accessories. It leaves a better striping pattern to it, so you're gonna build that reputation real good with pretty lawns. It's extremely reliable, so is SCAG, but it has, you know, your trash kit, it's got the wheels on it. It's been known out there that it's one of the best machines. But let's say you're a guy that has landscaping crews, you've got multiple crews and you're about to buy for your season. SCAG has way better fleet pricing. If you want to buy 2, 3, 4, 5 of these machines, your pricing on these just gets astronomically lower. They've got great rebates and discounts. And as far as the part components where they swap back and forth, that is nice on the SCAG as well. So I'm going to put both of these mowers in the grass. We don't have much grass here because it's only in March, but I'm going to test them, see how they feel in ride, and kind of go from there. All right, so just cut with it. You guys can probably see a cut away from it. This grass is not the best. Like I said, it's March, but I can't really tell a difference in stripe quality one versus the other. Both very smooth, very easy to control, and some of that comes down to the transmission. It's something I didn't mention before. These are basically the top end tier transmissions. They have the hydro gear transmissions in them. This does have slightly more flow. I think it's 18 cubic inches versus 15 cubic inches. Honestly, they feel about the same. May make a little bit of a difference one versus the other in thick grass or travel speed, even though this one supposedly boasts 12.5 miles per hour, and that's 11.7. Slightly bigger motors in this one, but still amazing transmissions in these things. Some of the things I noticed while driving it, this one has better visibility towards the front of the mower deck because that one has a little shield sitting right there. You can't actually see the front edge of your mower deck well. But on the visibility note, while I love this trash can holder, I can't see the edge of my mower deck. So as I was doing my circle loop around it, I kind of have to lean all the way over here to see the edge of my mower deck. So if you're doing it all day, every day, and you're edging with this side, that actually might get a little frustrating. Or maybe you'll learn how to get used to it. Maybe you'll learn how to line up your trash can. I don't know. But the visibility on this one with the side bumper and everything was great, but you couldn't see out front as well. The other thing I want to talk about is the handles on them. Where the SCAG has one singular internal handle, these have forward and reverse. It really comes down to operator preference. I've never really noticed that one actually functions better than the other. If you're doing a lot of small yards with a lot of reversing in it, potentially this one where you can have the front handles versus the rear, or if you have some sort of disability with your hands, you might actually prefer one versus the other, but it is a difference between the two if you have a preference or you grew up on one and you like that. And then the last thing was, while operating it, I went to go lower these both to 3.5 inches of cut quality. And I remembered as I was doing that the Wright, as you raise and lower this mower deck, if you watch the engine raises and lowers with it, which when you're cutting low or even not low, bringing that center of gravity down is huge on hills and slopes. And if I remember correctly from my last video that I did, this one does handle hills and slopes slightly better because of that decreased or that lowered center of gravity when you're bringing the engine up and down with it. And it's smooth, guys. Like, it doesn't take one finger much pressure at all. All right, I've got big arms, but much pressure at all to raise and lower this mower deck. This is a heavier, physically heavier mower deck. It's still easy to raise and lower, but you can notice the engine is mounted at the same place. And honestly, this is definitely heavier and more difficult to raise and lower than the other one. So I do like that about the Wrights. So if I had to pick one, if I was an individual operator and I was just like, all right, give me the best one, I'm gonna go with the Wright today. If I was a fleet operator and I had a whole bunch of machines that I needed to rely upon all day, every day, it would be tough, but I might go with the V-Ride XL just due to the parts and the overall durability that SCAG's been putting out for so many years. So anyway, hope that helps or makes your decision more difficult when getting your next mower.